Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about Eureka. Now, it seems like when this content first came out, it was the most hated thing that Square had ever done in Final Fantasy XIV, and there was all kinds of rage everywhere you look in every forum and Reddit and community. It was just like everyone seemed to hate it on day one, and then this seemed to taper off quite a bit over time. And when I tried it, I was expecting to hate it, and I really didn't, but I didn't love it either. More in the undecided range right now, as are a lot of people, I think. So I thought it would be good to make a video about the 5 reasons you should not hate Eureka. The first reason is that it has a pretty cool atmosphere. I mean, it's a beautiful place with tornadoes and like cool monsters, and some of the fates are really neat. Someone commented on my Twitter, I think it's a good change of pace for Final Fantasy XIV. The world is now dangerous, and that keeps us from getting too comfy as high eye level 70s. I agree, Bill Murray. I thought you'd like it since it's so much like Groundhog Day. It's beautiful and dangerous, and you really get the sense of being in a massively multiplayer online game, and I think that's really special. You know, I don't know if I felt that way since I was in 40-man raids in Vanilla WoW. Not so special is the fact that half of them are AFK, which is actually pretty similar to Vanilla WoW raids. The second reason you should not hate Eureka is because it's actually really easy, in spite of what the haters may have told you. Maybe even too easy. Let me just describe my personal experience in Eureka to give you a sense of how easy it is to level up. I managed to get to level 3 without any concept of what was happening around me or what's going on. I'm just streaming and goofing off and barely even paying attention. And I got to level 3 this way, so consider that. I don't even remember how I got to level 3. It's just one day I logged in and I'm like, oh, I'm level 3 in Eureka. Cool. So I get in there and I write in shout chat, I'm level 3 and I have no idea what's going on. Please help. I'm instantly invited to a party, and I see that they're on the other side of the map. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go in a straight line directly to the party, and I die a couple of times, but eventually I make it. It's like, I can't understate how much of a pain in the ass it was for me as a level 3 to get from the home base to the other side of the map. I really felt like Frodo on the trip to Mordor. Like it was involved. That could be its own video, what happened. Once I get there, I see that every player who's ever installed Final Fantasy XIV or uninstalled it or written a comment about it everybody who's ever had anything to do with Final Fantasy XIV is there. It's like a mega server all of a sudden. It's EU and North America. I've never seen so many people in one place in Final Fantasy in my life. Then there are some bright lights and I die instantly. Other players tell me, hey, you're level 3. Maybe you should just shield lob. And I'm like, all right, I can do that. I'm just standing there on the ridge, shield lobbing, and I really feel like I'm standing around with my thumb up my ass, but it seems like it's the cool thing to do because I look around and I see there's people playing Candy Crush, there's somebody doing their taxes, half of the people are AFK, but no one seems to give a shit. I went from level 3 to level 5 this way in that one lockout. So this isn't hard. Like, you can brain dead your way up the levels. Like, this is a relic step. It's probably the easiest relic step that they've ever implemented. Though I have to say, like, this is not what I've just described. That's not an ethical way to level. In my defense, at the time, I really didn't know better. Like, as a level 3, there's nothing in the game telling you that that's not the way that you should level. Like, it seemed like that was the right way because soloing is impossible. And I asked for help and I'm invited to this group. It just seemed like this is what I'm supposed to do. Other players told me that that's what I needed to be doing. The right thing to do, the moral and correct thing to do, is to try to find a group of people that are around your level and grind mobs on them till the big notorious monster spawns, get the XP for that, and then go back to grinding mobs with your similarly leveled people. That's what you should do. I think I've heard that that's what they do in the Japanese region servers. Morally, you probably shouldn't play the game like an experienced parasite, but there's also nothing stopping you from doing that. The third reason you should not hate Eureka is that it's not RNG, and you all know how much I personally hate RNG. Some of people I saw calling it Diadem 2.0. Like, do you remember Diadem? Do you remember how bad that was? When best in slot gear could randomly drop from RNG? That was so different. Like, how could you even compare those two things? I feel like the people comparing those things didn't, like, have their soul crushed in Diadem as completely as I did. At least in Eureka, you got a leveling system, there's a magicite system, you're progressing, you feel stronger, and you get access to traveling and aetherites and mounts, and that's rewarding. You feel like there's an end in sight. There is some horizon where this could be over, unlike Diadem, which was like every dystopian fantasy about what immortality would be like in the worst possible way. I can still remember my soul separating from my body. And I'm not sure if I ever got it back. That's Diadem. It's not Diadem. Now, the fourth reason why you should not hate Eureka is that friendship is the end game. Now, lots of people will tell you that Eureka is a good place to hang out and make friends and make friendship bracelets and trade Dr. Pepper chapsticks with each other. But my question is, should Square get credit for that? You know, was that even intentional, or is it just unfinished and we're filling in the holes with our friendship bracelets? My friend, a friend of mine, Force, said in stream, if friendship is the end game, might as well go back to the AIM chat rooms. I don't know about that, but we could certainly use the away messages. If you look at the content on its own, by itself, without the social experience sprinkled on top, it's fate grinding with a dash of A rank farming, as my friend put it. So the big question is, like, this is a philosophical question. I really want you to think about what I'm asking and tell me what you think about that in the comments section. My question is, to what extent should the content itself be entertaining and not rely on the social experience to be entertaining? Isn't the void created by the lack of directives what gives space for the richer social experiences? You know, like, if we had more bells and whistles and more things to focus on, would you even have time to talk and chill and relax? Like, you see the kind of paradox that I'm getting at here? Like, people think that, a lot of people say that they want more and more to do. But if that were the case, would it be less chill and less social? You know, like, there's space for the social experience. And that's what most people who I know who love Eureka, they tend to say that that's their favorite part, or how relaxing it is. The fifth reason you should not hate Eureka is because they might fix it. I don't think anyone who loves it doesn't think that there's room for improvement. And if you haven't seen it already, I'll link to it in the description box below, where Yoshi actually does say they are going to fix some stuff in Eureka. They're going to add level sync, which is desperately needed. And they're gonna do some other good quality of life changes. I'll link to that so you can read it out for yourself. It's just the translated comments that he gave about Eureka. I personally am ecstatic to hear that they're going to be adding level sync, because I understand they want Eureka to be like FF11, but was de-leveling really necessary? Like, if you're going to make it like FF11, you know, roll out the de-leveling with the level sync. As far as other changes they make, you know, I personally would really like to see maybe not too much extra directives, but some. Like, there's no leaves, there's no daily quests, there's no factions, there's no treasure hunting. Like, you do one thing. You have one thing to do. So maybe, like, two things? I did a Twitter poll gauging opinion about Eureka. Now, this is very unscientific. It's a tiny sample size, so take it with a grain of salt. But after 425 votes, I was pleasantly surprised that most people don't actually hate it. Only about 15% of people hate it. 35% say that they loved it. 30% say they're undecided. And 20% haven't done it, so just ignore them. I was surprised, honestly, that so many people were in the undecided camp like me, because originally my title for this video was going to be like 5 reasons Eureka sucks, or like, you know, like being angry about Eureka because I heard everyone hated it, and I figured, hell, I'll probably hate it too, but I didn't. And I started playing it, and I felt very confused about it, because on the one hand, I was like, this is probably the best relic step ever, and on the other hand, I'm like, as content, this is pretty empty. I can't say I love it yet, but I can't say I hate it. Like, I can't say that I think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. So what do you think about it overall? Where do you stand on it? What do you think is the role of the social experience in MMO? Going back to that philosophical question that I asked earlier. And here's the kicker is, what the hell's going to happen when nobody's doing it anymore? When all the fate trains are gone and it's going to be real tough to level up at the rate that I guess a lot of people are leveling up right now. But anyway, just let me know your thoughts and concerns and questions and whatnot in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.